So, if your business works with the US government, there's an acronym you absolutely have to know: CMMC. Look, understanding this framework isn't just a nice to have anymore, it's totally essential if you want to win and keep those federal contracts. So, let's break down exactly what you need to know in plain English.
All right, let's just start with a really simple question. Does your business handle any kind of government data? We're talking project info, emails, any files at all that come from a federal agency. Just think about that for a second. Because if the answer is yes, even a little bit, then you need to know about CMMC. It's not optional, it's not something you can put off. This is the rule book the government uses to make sure you're keeping their information safe. Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. First, what is CMMC anyway? Then, what kind of info are we even talking about protecting? We'll get into why this all matters so much, lay out a real readiness plan, and talk about your immediate next steps. Ready? Let's do it.
So let's dive right in. What in the world is CMMC? We're going to cut right through all the technical jargon and get straight to what it actually means for your company. CMMC. It stands for Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification. At its heart, it's really just a system that the Department of Defense came up with to check and verify that contractors like you have the right security measures in place to protect sensitive government info. You know, the best way to think about it is like a building code, but for your company's cybersecurity. It's not just a list of suggestions, it's a clear set of standards you have to meet to prove to the DoD that your digital house is secure and built the right way to protect their data. And this is a really, really crucial point. CMMC is not just an IT problem you can solve by buying some new software. It's a whole business thing. It goes deep into your company policies, your day-to-day processes, how you train your team, and, this is a big one, how you document everything. Okay, so we get it. CMMC is about having the right policies and processes. But what exactly are we supposed to be protecting? Let's talk about the specific data that this is all about. So the framework really hones in on two main types of data. First, you've got FCI, or Federal Contract Information. Just think of this as the day-to-day operational stuff for your contract that's not meant for the public, things like invoices or project timelines. Then you have CUI, Controlled Unclassified Information. Now, this is the more sensitive stuff. It could be technical drawings, engineering data, things that really need to be locked down. And don't worry, your contract will always tell you which type of data you're dealing with. All right, so we know what CMMC is and what data it's designed to protect, but why should you pour time and resources into this? Let's get right down to the business case, the risks of ignoring it versus the rewards of getting it right. And let's be clear, the stakes are incredibly high. If you fail to comply, you could be looking at a devastating data breach. But from a business standpoint, it means you could lose the contracts you already have, get locked out of future ones, and maybe even face some serious fines or legal action. It's a risk that most businesses just can't afford to take. But on the flip side, getting compliant brings some huge benefits. It gives your government clients and your own team real confidence that you're a secure, trustworthy partner. It screams professionalism. And most importantly, it's the key to securing the work you have now and unlocking those doors to new contracts down the line. Okay, this is where we pivot from the what and the why to the how. How do you actually get this done? And I promise you, this isn't some impossible mountain to climb. Let's walk through a clear, actionable plan to get you started on your CMMC journey. First off, it's important to know CMMC is not a one-size-fits-all deal. It's got levels. Level 1 is all about basic cyber hygiene. The fundamental stuff, like using antivirus software and controlling who has access to what. Level 2 steps it up with more advanced practices and documentation. And Level 3, well, that's where you're meeting the full suite of DoD security requirements. The level you need to hit depends entirely on the kind of information your contract says you'll be handling. So the path forward can be broken down into 5 pretty manageable steps. First, just assess where you are right now. Take a hard look at your current security. From there, you'll see the gaps between where you are and where you need to be. Then, you start documenting your policies, you train your team so everyone's on the same page, and finally, you schedule your official assessment. See? Breaking it down like this makes it a whole lot less intimidating. So now you have the roadmap. Let's bring it all home and talk about the single most important action you can take right now to start your path to compliance. It all starts with one thing: a readiness assessment. You simply cannot figure out where you're going until you know exactly where you're standing today. This single step gives you the clarity you need to build your entire strategy.
And this might be the single best piece of advice in this whole process. Don't try to boil the ocean. Start small. Focus on getting ready, and then gradually work your way up to the level your contracts require. It really is a marathon, not a sprint. So after all that, the real question is, are you ready to get that clear picture? Are you ready to find out where your business truly stands on the path to CMMC compliance? If you are, a fantastic place to start is with the CMMC Readiness Checklist from Tanti and Senverity. It's a resource that's designed to help you kick off that initial assessment and turn this huge, complex requirement into a clear, manageable plan. Thanks so much for joining me.